and overseas, internationally as well as nationally in certain countries. We see everything. If they see an ad, we see that ad. If they go to URLs, obviously we're going to see each URL, each string. We can identify the top pages that they go to a specific site. We also have 1,000 physicians that allow us to track what they do online, and it's the only panel of its type. Basically, we have a relationship with these physicians, and they've allowed us to basically get insights as to what they're doing, which is something that really hasn't existed. And it's giving us some insights of how they use the internet, and ultimately how they're getting a lot of the data that that we all know that they get, like medical journals. They still get online, but they don't get them at medical journal sites. So we're kind of digging deeper into that. We also can survey our panelists, and that makes it extraordinarily interesting because in the traditional research world, you would ask somebody, do you use the internet? Do you go to the site? What do you think of the site? We don't need to ask those questions. We literally look at people who go to those sites, ask them specifically what they think of it, and can break it by their behavior. And the thing about the internet is nobody knows where they're going, and nobody can remember what they did yesterday. If you go to your history from yesterday, you'd be shocked at all the sites that you don't recognize. And so we capture all that and basically database it, sort it, use that in our research. We also have some non-panel-based solutions, and lastly, ComScore is an internet company, first and foremost. It's been acquiring a lot of companies lately. We're up to 900 people. A lot of international acquisitions lately. Within the ComScore family, there are 20 people who are specifically dedicated to the healthcare space, and that's the team that I lead. So, with that said, I just want to have a reminder here. I presented once something similar, what's going on in the internet, specific to a topic, and I had a friend of mine who's in the healthcare industry, best friend from high school, sit in and listen, and afterwards, like, what did you think? It's what you count clicks. And yes, that is in fact what we do. It can be very uninteresting. What makes it interesting is if you ask questions and you interact, and we can go in a lot of different places. So please, let's make this as interactive as possible, because otherwise it is just click count. So I am of the belief that the internet is the most influential change to the healthcare system in the last 50 years. I mean, when you look at healthcare in general, when you look at how people use the internet today, and the growth that we're seeing, it really is incredible. The reasons are it's extremely convenient, it's private, and it's accessible. And a lot of people ask me, what are some similarities to other industries? And it's a terrible example, but it's so true. Look at the original, most successful things online, and they were, we'll leave it at, the sin industries, right? And why were they so successful? Well, it was private, it was anonymous, it allowed people with very interesting and different and unique interests to find each other. Look at the health world. People don't want to talk to their peers or even their family about like weird rashes or things that may be embarrassing. They wouldn't particularly share what they have if they couldn't be anonymous. So you have that similarity. And lastly, there are conditions. My sister recently had brain surgery. She would never have found the information she needed for her very rare situation if it weren't for the internet. But she found a community all over the world. But she found that community that helped her diagnose her problem with help of obviously the physicians ultimately did it, but it helped her better understand it, talk to people, and really create that sense of community that you don't get outside of the internet. So that being said, I want to kind of show you some stats. When we look at the internet, and some of these numbers are from December 2009. We tend to do them on an annual basis. The amount of growth that we saw on the internet in the last 3 years is 18%. Last year, it's very little, at all. It's just penetrating at this point. But when you look at...
Is this US data or?
This is US data. And everything I'm going to go with from now on is going to be US data. When you look at visitation to health sites, it's gone up 64% in 3 years. Savviness is up, and really the reason for it is people use the internet more now than ever. They feel more comfortable researching things even than they did 3 years ago. We're probably all kind of leading edge people when it comes to the internet, but my 80-year-old mother uses the internet when she wants to look up things for herself. You wouldn't see that years ago. So the other piece of it is the content is so much better than it's ever been. So you watch the progression of everyday health, Healthy Nation, and Web